A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about the D10 and we are going to talk about one of the Amsha rulers, Ishaan, who plays an important role in giving you international name and fame. So, before we begin, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your suggestions and comments there. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do, and do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. Okay, so let's talk about the D10 or the Dashamsh. Is it important for us? Highly so. Why? Because the D10 deals with our profession and our karma, and because for those who are more esoteric in nature on a spiritual path, a good karma is definitely something that we want to do, and those who want a good material life, profession has to be great to be able to give you a lot of things that you desire from life. Ishan Amsha or the ruler deity Ishan works great in favor of both material and spiritual life. How do we find that out? Well, for those who do the Rudrashtakam, or even if you don't, if you read the Rudrashtakam, the first words that we hear across is Namami Shamishan. That means I bow down to Ishan. Ishan in effect is one of the 11 Rudras, but he is the Rudra that gives you a lot of splendor. He is the Rudra that gives you clarity of thought. He is the Rudra that brings forward lots of name and fame. He is said to be crystal clear. He is said to be one of those deities who will give one an all-empowering presence. He is all-enveloping. In today's lingo, if I have to translate that, I will always tell you that this is a Amsha that brings forth international name and fame in our work. It is one of those deities who give you direction in life and make you successful. All that you want, be it spiritual prosperity, a direction in your spiritual life or material growth, so that you find what is the kind of work that you should do, what is the level that you can interact with depending on the planet. Say supposing it's Mars, I would say go into something where there is a lot of planning involved, go into doing martial art or go into military, go into some area of life which talks about a lot of prominence and a lot of passion to do something, and that Mars in an Ishan Amsha will give you unforeseen growth. If this is a planet, say if Mercury is placed in an Ishan Amsha, I would tell a person that your sense of business, you have a great acute sense of business and you can actually go international with your business sense, especially if it is associated with the 6th or the 10th house of the D10. This is how we can always understand how the Ishan Amsha works for us. But basically, I have always found that the Ishan Amsha happens in the chart of a very lucky person, because that, if it is worked properly, will give you heights that you could not even imagine at the beginning of your career. Now, when we are talking about Sun in this Amsha, Sun in this Amsha gives a bang on approach. How does it do that? Because Sun itself talks about direction. Sun is your Atma, so you yourself know what direction you have to take. And with the support of this Amsha, it becomes so strong that you move like a homing pigeon right in your direction and attain great name and fame. Moon talks about our emotion. Moon talks about doing water related work. So in this Amsha, one can become a great pioneer or can do great with water related works. Mars in this Amsha, as I told you earlier, can do a lot of work which is related to martial arts, can do a lot of work which is related to your police or academic, IPS, all these things. Now, when we are talking about Jupiter, let us take up the case of Vivekananda. So, when we are talking about examples, let's take two examples where I'll show you that international name and fame can be got not just in the arena of spirituality but also in the day-to-day life. When we are taking the chart of Vivekananda, in his D10 chart, it's the Leo Lagna that we see, and we see Venus is the lord of the 10th house. Here we realize that as the lord of the 10th house, we find that Venus is in a very strong position, and what more, it is this Venus which is in the Ishan Amsha. And the 10th lord in Ishan Amsha does confer one with a lot of name, fame. Venus, we also know, is the guru. So, he came across as a person who was very clear in his thought. He came across as a person who wanted to stick on to his guru's dictums of spreading Vedanta across the globe, did that, and not only that, he got a great name and fame for his own self. We see that in his chart, he being a very successful singer. How does that show in Ishan Amsha? Well, when we talk about Ishan Amsha in his chart, the 10th lord in the D10 chart, as you see, is in the 3rd house, the house of music, the house of trying, and that's Jupiter here, which gives him a ever widening presence. With Moon, which is the 5th lord of the D10 chart, we find that it is very strongly present for him in Ishan Amsha, and both of them confer him a lot of name and fame. His thought process was very clear to begin with. He wanted to make a name of himself in the field of music. He came through a very tough phase, just like we know Ishan does, and he made an international presence of himself. In short, Ishan Amsha is one of the greatest Amshas that you can find, and it gives you a great ascent in life, be it spiritual or material. So, do let us know where you find your Ishan Amsha in, and can you move along these roads. Also, let us know what other Amsha rulers you would be wanting to know about, you have a desire to know about. Till we meet with you again, stay safe. Thank you.